So today I want to go over a very sensitive topic. I want to go over something that's really plaguing a lot of people and they don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing. Relationship scams. Scams whereby somebody has influenced you that they are in love or they feel some kind of emotional connection with you online and they coerce you or invite you to send them money with promises and agreements that are never really fulfilled. You sent them so much information about you that they are coupling that information with other information that they can find on the darknet to better exploit you. This is a real thing. It pains me every day that I get one of these cases where somebody has gone through tens of thousands of dollars with somebody who they've never met, they've never had the opportunity to do a video call with. They feel as if it's too abrasive or too uncouth to ask them to get on a video chat or some kind of FaceTime instead of just receiving the text messages and the photos that may or may not be the person that they're actually interacting with. I hope this message resonates with you today because this is a situation that takes place a lot of times. If you are a loved one, if you are a son or a daughter, and you have a parent, because these are the number one targets are the grown-ups, the adults, the ones who have mature wealth, primarily maybe a little lonely, maybe going through something where they are more susceptible or vulnerable or victims to people who would exploit them with relationship scams. What I'd like for you to do if you are a mother or a father or a son or a daughter that has a loved one that's going through one of these situations, I want you to turn the phone to them and show them right now this video. Let them know right now that this happens every day. There's nothing new about these scams. People telling you that they love you, that they will interact with you, that they just need that $1,000, that $10,000, that last transfer one more time. I promise you I won't ask anymore. I love you so much. That is a script. These scripts get run every day by cyber criminals. It's so good that they hire psychiatrists, they hire actors, they hire former directors to put together these elaborate scripts that make people really believe that they are in love or they are finding a connection with somebody who they may or may not have ever seen before in their lives, who live all the way halfway across the world. This is a serious situation. I want everybody to pay close attention to some of the tips, the insights, and the advice I have on countering these attacks. Number one, know that you are not alone. There's no need for you to be in a rush to do anything in life, let alone whatever somebody on the other side of electronic device is asking you to do. Rushing to give your bank account information, rushing to give your real phone number information, rushing to give the wire transfer information because something has to be done yesterday is a big red flag. Number two, if you can't find that person and their information on any of the open source intelligence agency collection services like Intellius.com, People, Yellowpages.com, if you can't find information about the individuals that you're engaging with, either number one, they're a scammer and they don't exist. Number two, they're a former federal agent, which is a big scam. A lot of people say that as well. Me being a person that worked for three-letter intelligence agencies for about 20 years, I understand how many charlatans are out there that try to express that they actually used to live that lifestyle. It's very few and far between. And 99% of the time, if you're meeting somebody online and they used to work for a federal agency, they're not going to communicate and they're not going to be in a financial situation where they need to borrow or need $1,000 or $10,000 from you. We understand finances. Most of us do. Number three, if you can't really identify with a face in a video, any kind of interaction with that individual, you are likely being scammed. We live in 2023. There is no logical explanation for anybody not to be able to give you some kind of video confirmation or evidence of their existence through a FaceTime, through a face chat, or any kind of other online interaction platform. Now, for those of you who are in the OkCupid and the other multitude of different online dating apps, I really need you to pay attention. Those sites and those apps are a breeding ground for scammers. They already know your psychological profile because you're on these kind of sites. People make the judgment that people that leverage these sites are lonely, that they are naive, that they are susceptible to exploitation. And sometimes that rings true. I'm not putting anybody in a box here. I'm not trying to make any of you triggered. I just want you to know that because you're on those platforms, you're already identified as somebody that may be susceptible to these types of exploits. So if you're using online dating apps, I want you to really focus on a few of these tips that are really going to help you along the way. Number one, there's no need for you to use these online dating apps on your main phone. Keep them separated. If you have a phone that you use for your work and your interactions with your daily life, get another phone for your dating life. Get another phone with another number, with another carrier, completely separated from your regular life. And the reason why I am suggesting this is for one reason. When you separate the two phones, when you separate the two lives, if you will, if one phone gets compromised, that other phone and that whole lifestyle behind that phone is untouched. You don't want to have a situation whereby if a virus, if a photo is sent that may have some kind of seeding Trojan or some kind of malware or virus inside of it, you don't don't want that phone to be able to send a text message to your other phone or do some kind of Bluetooth connection or any kind of near field communication to send that infection to the other phone. While this may seem like it's far-fetched in space age, I live in this world. I know the threats that exist. I see scammers every day. Just like some people say they see dead people, I see scammers and cyber criminals every day for a living. And I used to be a cyber operative for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and many other three-letter intelligence agencies for the government. I've seen it and I've done a lot. So take this wisdom with you. Number two, or moving along. Now that you've got the phone separated, make sure that you try to keep your name away from the phone. When you buy the phone number, try to buy prepaid cards, try to get a Mint card that doesn't ask for your identity. There's a big reason for this. Because when you go out and you buy these phones and you go out and you procure these different solutions, I keep a lot of phones. You don't want to give the person that may be stalking you any more information than they need. And what does that mean? As you're engaging on these apps and you create a new Google account to get on, or a new iPhone account to get on these Apple stores or the Play stores to go out and download these apps, these dating apps, what you want to do is keep a layer of protection between you, your identity, and these applications. Number one, these applications get hacked all the time. So using your real information to even register for these accounts or for these dating apps is highly ill-advised. Number two, or moving along, always use Google Play credits or Apple Play credits when possible. The reason why that is so important is so that you understand when you go out and you purchase these different interaction tokens, if you have to get another membership or Prime membership, you're not typing in your credit card that can be used or exploited in the event that that company gets hacked. And it's not a if they get hacked, it's a when they get hacked. You have to always look at the level and the route of exploitation and the pivots that people can get into your personal life. Creating a separation between these types of interactions with your personal identity and your financial identity and these applications is very important. So you've got the Google Play, you've got the Apple Store credits that you've paid for, not with a credit card, that you pay for with cash. Now, when you're registering and getting yourself all souped up for the, oh yes, okay, Cupid, I am John, and I am great, and I'm this. Try to keep the hype to a minimum, number one. Number two, being honest is a great thing. I understand it's Sunday here today. I understand a lot of people have their moral compass aligned with their higher power. I understand that. But in the efforts of privacy, it's very important that you keep a level of obfuscation, a layer of smoke between who you are and your personal identifiable information and what the app thinks you are. For instance, if I'm going on one of these apps, if I'm on OkCupid, my name's going to be J Lover or, Choco Sexy, something that may represent who I am, represent something that I embody, but I'm not giving OkCupid or Tinder or Bumble or any of these many apps out there my real information. Why? And then when I'm engaging with people that I just met, if this, person reaches out to me and they're like, oh, you're beautiful, and we're talking, and I'm like, yeah, baby, you look nice, and I can't wait. My first name and my last name and my personal information is only for those who I have got a real interaction with face to face. And even then, I'm still cautious about giving away my personal information. Maybe it's because of the lifestyle I used to live with the government, but more importantly, I don't trust everybody, and you should not trust everybody as well. Trust but verify. And what does that really mean? That means understand that there are people out there that may not be in the most secure positions of life themselves. And while you may want to trust them, they may be in a situation where they're being cyber stalked, or they're being hunted, or they're a victim of some cyber exploitation campaign. And until you get a real good understanding of who you're dealing with, I try to keep a level of who I am away from people that I don't know. Now, of course, this is up to your appetite, how you want to live your life. I'm just giving you some insights that'll help you navigate the murky waters of privacy. Now, moving along, when you find yourself in a situation, and this is just going to happen, people are going to take this information, they're going to take what's useful, disregard what's useless, and keep together the rest for your own self. Bruce Lee, shout out. If you can't pick up what I'm putting down, and you must have some engagement with somebody about engaging in a relationship, and you've talked to them online, and you've thrown away all the other advice that I've given you about check and see if they real, look onto Yellow Pages, look in their social media profiles, do some open source intelligence, hire a OSINT investigator. We do that for you. No worries. Give us a ring. Signal 562-519-7792 on Signal only. If you need these kind of services, of course, we do a lot of other things. But if you have to throw away everything that we've said today and you have to send them some money, let me show you something. Let me express something to you. A very big and common scam. A lot of you guys out there are very thirsty. We get it. You haven't really listened to a lot of the motivational social media posts about standing your ground ground, being firm and not thirsty about chasing women or chasing the opposite sex or chasing whatever you're into. And women the same way, you're so tied in with what social media thinks you should be beautified by. It's telling you that you should be this and you should be that. So when you meet somebody that gives you 2 seconds of attention, you unlock all of your jewels to that individual. And then we get to the position where we are now. Somebody's asked you for money and you're saying, that's a good idea because I trust this person. I haven't met them in real life, or I met them once at a bar and that was a really good engagement and I trust that I can just send them some money. Let me break down a scam that I have seen 15 times in the last 5 weeks, right? By the time a person has already gotten your first name and your last name, at some point in the relationship or the correspondence, they've gotten your email address, whether that's, oh baby, can you send me this? Or I'm gonna email you this. They've got your email address, and it's not hard to go on darknet websites and find out lists of people. If I give you the name, I can find out not only your password, but your email addresses as well. So you've gotten the first name, last name, email. Now you've been asked or requested to send a Cash App, but this time they say, oh, no, I don't need your Cash App number, just give me the email associated with it. Now, they've already collected a lot of other information, and unbeknownst to you, they've been on darknet sites, they've been engaged with other scammers that have what we call an exploit package. An exploit package is a targeted dossier of information about you that can be used to bypass two-factor authentication, to see if your phone is SIM swappable, things you need to look up, SIM swappable, and then by the time you give them your information, they already know how to break into your Cash App, and then they go and rob you blind. That happens all the time. Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, all of these apps are very susceptible to exploitation, especially by seasoned scammers. So, you've been asked to send this money to somebody, but you don't have two-factor authentication on your account. For instance, Cash App, it allows you to use Google Authenticator or a YubiKey like we discussed in our previous emails and our previous discussions for two-factor authentication for their phones and for their accounts. Use that. Don't engage in any kind of online cash transfer activity or online banking without some kind of two-factor authentication. Very important. And because you're using the second phone, or if you didn't pay attention and you're using your main phone for interaction and correspondence, and you have to send this person some money, if you have to, because nothing is a rush, I would send them a prepaid Visa card in the mail, legit, or an electronic one. If they need cash that bad or they're about to go to jail, whatever it is, you should never give up your credit card information to these people. You should never read out your credit card information or your CVV number at all. Never do that. If anything, consider sending crypto and a secure crypto if you have to. You see, first and foremost, I am not judging you. I'm only expressing to you situations and scenarios that I've seen in the real world with clients that call me about exploits. Whether it's a woman getting divorced from a man after 15 years of marriage, both of them are very wealthy. The husband, because of the divorce, is actually hiring a lot of cyber scammers to go out after the wife to put her in a position financially and from a brand or a positioning perspective to make her look unstable. I have seen it all. I've seen the dirt of the dirt, and the reason why we're making this video today is because I've just got a recent case that was so bad, that was so horrible, so atrocious, I felt compelled to give this message out today. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. I hope you are listening and receiving through your senses and through your internal solar plexus and your third eye the message that I have for you. Online dating is very, very risky. It's a shark-infested water situation. It's a red ocean. Red ocean meaning there's blood in the water and sharks are festering and feasting on all types of prey. And if you're not vigilant, and if you don't have your head on a swivel and you can't focus and really be direct about what you're doing on these apps, because you can do it safely, sometimes you have to have your senses to be interacted with. Sometimes you need company. I get that. You're looking at a guy that used it before. I've used social media before. I've used dating apps before in the situations where I'm like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind having some company to this event tonight. Whatever it is, because I travel, whatever the excuse is, I have intention when I go there. I'm a hunter inside of this field of prey. And I don't mind identifying as that because that's my intention, to go out, seek out a mate for that night, for that week, in that situation. It hasn't been anything recent. I'm just saying, seek out a mate and seek out that person, and not to be somebody that is sought after. Random texts from random people, looking at their profile and it looks too scripted. The photos look like, she just came out of an Instagram model shoot. I'm good. I'm all right. The profiles are not filled all the way out. Just say something very bland. It looks like the script, and they may have unnoticeable characters, or the sentences are just don't add up. They may say, I love to have fun, and then the fun is an explanation at the end and it has 2 periods. Those are scripts.
that somebody has created an online profile with a script or AI, and now you're interacting with it. Every time somebody sends you a message on these apps or even in Twitter or social media and you don't know them and you click on a link, those links, all you have to do nowadays is open the link on your phone. And here's a fun fact. You ever got a message on any platform, you opened it up, you clicked it and nothing happened? Your phone's hacked. That's what it looks like. It's not like the movie Hackers or in the Matrix where it's a whole bunch of that's not how it looks. Your phone's not gonna vibrate and say, hey man, I'm sick, achoo. It doesn't look like that. Even with the app, with the new exploit pack of Pegasus, people only need to know your phone number. That's why it's also good to keep 2 separate phones. Because when you're on those dating apps and you put things like you make $350,000 a year, or you have a job, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're this, you're that, and you're just putting out there because you want to attract the best mate for you, there are hunters out there, there's hyenas, there's wolves and sharks looking for blood in the water. They're looking for your naivety, they're looking for your thirst, they're looking for your insecurities, and they're going to exploit that when they find it. So if you must, make sure you keep a separation between who you are and what you're representing. If you have to tell somebody that you're a doctor and you have a Rolex and you've got the blingity bling and the blockity block and you've been known by this, you probably just need to work on yourself first. Are you even dateable? Because you're not dateable if you have to communicate these things, and people who want to date you that use those kind of vernacular or that kind of ego-laden communication also know that you're exploitable. Also, IC3, that is a website run by the FBI that you can go out and submit complaints to. If you have a situation whereby you are cyber exploited, the first thing I recommend is calling law enforcement to get a case ran and registered, then taking that case number, going to ic3.gov and actually filing your complaint. You can also do one on FTC. And then if you have a serious cyber situation in your life, if you're being cyber stalked, if you have a client, if you are a lawyer, or if you're a bodyguard and you have a client that's going through something that just is unexplainable, their phone, it gets messages and people are reading their texts, whatever it is, you think there's bugs inside, they think there's bugs or listening devices in their homes, and you really need to evaluate that, you give us a call. I'm Jason Tate, CEO of Black Alchemy Solutions. I spent 20 years with 3-letter intelligence agencies in the cyber capacity, doing everything from hacking to exploiting people, places, and things for the United States government, breaking into different bases. I have a wide array of tools, skills, and capabilities at my disposal. Give us a call if you have a privacy problem. Your privacy is my business, literally. Reach out to me on Signal, 562-519-7792. We don't speak about anything confidential on unsecure means or unsecure lines. You have a great, fantastic, blessed, and abundant, safe day. Oh yeah.